We are going to talk about Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass in English.
The Night of Broken Glass was an anti-Semitic riot against Jews carried out by SA paramilitary forces and civilians in the Nazi Germany between the 9th and the 10th of November of 1938. The German authorities did nothing to stop it. The name of this night comes from the shards of glass that littered in the streets after the windows of Jewish-owned shops. Buildings and synagogues were smashed. We have found an article in a newspaper about this happening. This is what we did to find it. First, we searched when and where this night took place in Wikipedia. Then, we went to the newspaper archive I'll-Find and clicked on Advanced Search. We told the page that we were looking for newspapers from the year 1938 and wrote "Broken Glass" in the search bar. We ordered the newspapers by date and traveled through the pages to find those which had been published on the 10th of November or later until we found the one we were looking for.
During the riots, the SA shattered the windows of about 7,500 Jewish stores and businesses and looted their goods. Jewish homes were ransacked all throughout Germany. Many Jews were beaten or assaulted, and more than 30,000 were arrested and taken to concentration camps. 267 synagogues were completely destroyed, and over 1,400 synagogues and prayer rooms were damaged, as well as Jewish cemeteries. Fires were lit, and prayer books, scrolls, artwork, and philosophy texts were thrown upon them. Tombstones were uprooted, and graves were broken. But what made the Nazis act this way?
Early Nazi persecutions. In the 1920s, most German Jews were fully integrated into German society as German citizens. Conditions for the Jews began to change after the designation of Adolf Hitler as Chancellor of Germany on the 30th of January of 1933. Hitler's regime introduced anti-Jewish policies. Jews were thought to be responsible for Germany's defeat in the First World War. Several anti-Jewish laws were enacted. For example, Jews couldn't earn a living, gain education, work in the civil service, or marry non-Jewish Germans. Expulsion of Polish Jews in Germany. Germany forced the Jews of foreign countries to leave the country before the 20th of October. Hitler sent 17,000 Polish Jews to the frontier with Poland. Poland refused to let the Jews in, so they stayed for weeks under horrible conditions. After some negotiations, 4,000 of the Jews entered in Poland, but the others stayed in the frontier for more weeks. Finally, they were sent to concentration camps. This caused indignation over the Jewish community.
The shooting of Bomb RATH. Among the expelled Jews was the family of Sendel and Riva Greenspan, Polish Jews who had emigrated to Germany in 1911 and settled in Hanover. Sendel's son, Herschel Greenspan, was living in Paris. He received a letter from his sister Berta about the family situation on the 3rd of November. She was asking for help. On the 7th of November, Herschel bought a revolver and a box of bullets, and went to the German embassy. He asked to see an embassy official. After he was taken to the office of Ernst von Rath, Herschel fired 5 bullets at him. Then he turned himself in to the police. Next day, Germany took measures. Jews couldn't publish newspapers anymore, and children weren't allowed at German schools. On the 9th of November, Ernst von Rath died. Hitler received the news, and he informed the citizens that a pogrom was going to be organized that night. The most extreme measures had to be taken. But what happened after the Night of Broken Glass? After the event, the Kaiser Wilhelm II declared that for first time he was ashamed to be German. The persecution of German Jews continued after the pogrom. They were forced to pay a collective fine of 1 billion marks for the murder of von Rath. Also, the state acquired 20% of all Jewish properties. The number of emigrating Jews began to increase. In the 10 months following Kristallnacht, more than 115,000 Jews emigrated. Kristallnacht made a bad impression on other countries. Many of them thought that Germany had left the community of civilized nations. The British government rescued about 10,000 Jewish children from the Nazi Germany. The relation between Germany and the rest of the world changed. World opinion turned against the Nazi regime. Kristallnacht changed the nature of the Nazi persecutions of Jews, from economic, political, and social to physical. This violent night is thought to be a turning point. It is seen by many people as the beginning of the Holocaust.